I made myself rhododendron and Camellia japonica tea. I pick rhododendron leaves, I shred them, I put them into this thermos mug, and I put a flower from the Camellia japonica brush into it and put boiling water on it, let it sit for an hour, and then it tastes absolutely fantastic. And it is antiviral, antifungal, antibacterial, antimicrobial, and even anti-carcinogenic. So it can't get better than that. And it is nutritious, and it gives vitamin C and all kinds of nutrients that we need. Tastes fantastic, very similar to green tea, even better. Tastes kind of, it has a very herbal taste, very exquisite taste. So I want to talk about the actual therapy processes. There are many different types of therapies that need to be implemented, that need to be applied in the different groups. And I'm just roughly talking about this. I'm going to make many more videos about this, and we'll get more and more into the details of it. And we'll also, brainstorm together with other people. I always watch other people's videos on these themes. I watch the new therapy approaches that other people come up with, and I learn about different types of meditation practices, also from India, ancient ones and newer ones, and I just think this through. We need to first of all listen to other people, what they have to say, and then we need to ponder over this ourselves. We need to discuss that with other people. We need to get into the very details of this, the pros and cons of every approach, and we need to basically try it out on ourselves and see if it works, and find out, who is able to get into which type of meditation and which type of therapy approach in general will work the best for each individual person. We're all different. We have different mind states. Some people they're very locked up. Some people are in a form of anosognosia, where they are in almost like a biological state of denial. My mother is someone like that, and even mentioning to her to do therapy was causing her to panic. So for some people it is very, very frightening, just the idea of therapy, and on many levels, because some people want to think of themselves, they want to have an image of themselves as being completely tough and like, I am so sane and everyone else is not. That's what my mother actually said to a friend of mine. And my friend and I, we were both pretty outraged about this. But only someone who is in an anosognosia, in a complete visceral state of denial, can say something like that, where they're in a complete delusion about it. Because there's almost no human on this planet who is completely sane and well. Okay, most people are in various degrees of insanity. Okay, and this is the fact, and that's why this species is struggling so much getting things straightened out when there's that much corruption going on and deception and lies, and where people even believe their lies, and so so many games that are played, and almost nobody really packs it out on the table. Almost nobody lays their cards on the table and lets go of that poker face mask, and says, this is how I actually feel. Very few people do this. Very few people. That takes a lot of courage to do this. It takes a lot of introspection to begin with, to be able to do this. A lot of people aren't even conscious about this process or this option. So most people are completely unconscious about any of this. They are just immersed in a medium of lies and lies and lies all around them. So they will adapt to lies, and they will lie to themselves, they will lie to others, and it is happening unconsciously even. And outwardly they think to themselves or say to other people that they are sane, or that they don't have any mental illness. But all of this is a mental illness in itself. Okay, so I just want to point this out. Some people fare quite undetected with those kind of strategies, undetected to those who do the same, and none of them knows, and nobody knows, that they are actually mentally ill. Arthur Janov said it too. He recognized that too. He said the whole human species is mentally ill. There's only there are such few rare exceptions that you count them on one hand. So even from those people who are deeply caring and compassionate, even most of us are suffering from some form of mental illness. For those people, it usually is OCD and depression and anxiety disorders. So and of course, when you are a sensitive person, you're gonna be affected by the world around you. You're gonna suffer from the pain and suffering of animals and other people. It makes our lives very painful to see the suffering in the world, and also being bullied all the time. And we know that compassion is the right way, but we get bullied all the time by other people who think that compassion is not the right way, because they are coming from a different mind state. So it's very difficult for us. Naturally, we develop anxiety. So for those people that are sensitive and caring, and that are quite highly functioning, for those people we have to have this actual deep diving therapy approach, where we have different types of this type of meditation therapy. We have a group setting therapy, a group session, where people come together, and where I don't know, it depends on the size of the help center, but I would say the group should not be bigger, probably for each individual group session. The group should probably not be bigger than 20 people. Maybe 10 is best. I think 10 people per seminar in general, for any kind of seminar that someone is holding in person, is probably where the instructor has enough time to be dealing with every individual person also. So back in Waldorf school, there were 40 children in one class, and it was just simply not working. Okay, it was not working, certainly not for highly sensitive kids like myself. So it was actually very frightening and overwhelming. you know, all the noises, all the different energies in the room. So it would have been much better to have had a group of 10 kids and one instructor who would be really there for every single child. So, but in a therapy center, I would say, yeah, 10 would be optimal, but I would not go more than 20 in the class. So, or in the group session, so that everyone gets to talk. Also, this is a very different and very important thing to do. I've been through this myself at the Primal Training and Treatment Center in Venice, California, in LA, when Dr. Arthur Janov was still giving classes. And during these 3 years where Dr. Arthur Janov was teaching, things were going in the right direction, and it was really, really great. After he retired, the things went downhill from there, and it wasn't helping people anymore, and it was actually very destructive because too many mistakes have been made, and there wasn't enough overview. There was nobody to police the police. So, and that should never happen. This should be very clear from the beginning on, that everyone has to have a right to criticize someone else, and we can do this in the group session itself, but we can also do it in other meetings. We can do just democratic discussion meetings as well, where everyone is invited to give their view and how they feel, and really a productive criticism into it. That makes something grow. That is a real growing process for a group and for a therapy help center itself. And so that's very important. And in the cluster C help center, which is the one where the people are ready to go into this meditation, in that group everyone should participate also in this growing process, and in the personal idea input and criticizing process. So where the clients are also really encouraged to give their views on things. And where all the therapists everyone is encouraged to give their view on it. So we have to have a certain type of organization in it, but everyone is encouraged to give their criticism, their productive ideas to it. And I think that's the only path, that's the only way this works. And it was very helpful for me, these group sessions where I was able to actually, like, for example, I would always have a crush on some guy, or like on the therapists themselves. And it was an escape mechanism for me. And my ego would, or it would just, it would feel better to take that route away, just to get away from my emotional pain. So, and then also it will become the new struggle with my mother, basically. It's just a continuation from childhood. And for me, it was very helpful to address that in a group setting, for example. And I think this will be also very helpful for other people to stand up in group in front of the panel of therapists, and whatever issue or whatever emotional thing is going on in our brains, that we bring this up and discuss this, the things that are going on in the present time, not diving deliberately into the past. The past comes up gradually by itself. When the time is ready, the past stuff, the issues, the trauma will come up, speak to us, cry its way through us and out, and get dissolved. And that is how we do it. This is all of this I call basically meditation process. All of these also the speaking in front of the group and all of this. Okay, you guys take care.